What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm going to be kind of really just going into why I bought this bike. I've had it for a little bit over a year now. I bought it last April 2023. It had about 3 miles on it. Now I got about 13,000 miles on it. So I've definitely ridden this bike a good amount for having it for a little over a year. So this is my 2023 XSR900. It's basically the same thing as an MT09, just looks different. I had a couple comments asking me like why I got this bike instead of the MT09, and so in this video I'm just going to kind of explain that and go over things and why I like this bike a little bit more personally. Now, they are the same exact bike, so it really doesn't make a difference on if you get an XSR versus an MT, unless you get like the MT09 SP. That's a little bit different. And the reason why that's a little bit different is because you get a couple options that you don't on this bike or on the MT09. With the SP, you get like the upgraded Olin suspension. Pretty sure you get like Brembo brakes or calipers, I mean. This does have the Brembo master cylinder here and at the rear brake as well. Kind of getting into this bike, it's the CP3 power plant, so you know it's a 3-cylinder. It produces, I'm pretty sure, anywhere from like 119 to 120, or like 117 to 120, somewhere in that ballpark. Everywhere that I've looked says something different. But yeah, goddamn, this thing sounds so good. I believe it's around like 70 foot-pounds of torque. I think maybe a little bit more. Nonetheless, like this thing's a monster. Just like for around town, around the streets, this thing will not disappoint. It's everything and more than what you really need. But solid numbers for the street, around town, stuff like that. Now, getting into why I really bought this bike, to be honest, the biggest thing was just the style. I'm a big fan of like cafe racers and stuff like that. I think that they're really, really cool. And this kind of gave like those retro cafe bike vibes to me. Don't get me wrong, the MT09 looks great. But to be honest, not really my cup of tea. You know, they're cool. They're cool. But I didn't like the way the tank was shaped. It comes out a lot on the sides, and I don't know, it felt super big. Initially, when I first was kind of like in the market to buy a bike, I was looking at like the older XSR900s, the previous generation, and I really like those a lot. Like the white and red and black colorway that they had with the gold wheels, I loved it. It was like, it looked so nice. And then they came out with this generation, and you know, I saw it on the internet, some pictures, some videos. I wasn't a big fan of it actually at all. I did not like this bike when it first came out, or at least this generation when it came out. But then I found one for sale, you know, saw the price and everything. It was at a dealership in Wisconsin, about like, I don't know, like an hour away. I decided to go up there and, you know, check it out. And when I saw this thing in person, I gotta say, like, it was sick. It looked so much better in person than it did on, like, camera, I guess. And so because of that, I on the spot was like, yeah, I'm buying this bike. And I picked this thing up, and do I regret it? Not at all. I love this bike so much. It is such a fun bike. I mean, it's a wheelie machine, first of all, and it moves, man. It really does. And you can also get them tuned and stuff, and unrestricted, and they will be even faster. I saw a video with this thing on the dyno, and it hit 170 miles an hour. That's more than enough for this bike. That's too much for this bike. aerodynamically. And another reason why I actually bought this bike is because I want to do something to this bike. I want to make this thing a little bit more special. There is a company that produces a kit for this bike that kind of turns into like a cafe racer, sort of. It turns into a full fairing. But, oh, what up, boy? Oh, you guys are? I'm making a video, so. All right, well, I'll say hi if I see you. I'm gonna go get some coffee real quick, and then I will be back. What is this person doing? Ooh, M2, we're chasing that thing. Alright, you know what? We'll go that way too. No, I want to have some fun. Anyway, this bike gets the job done. Alright, let me tell you. It's fast. But honestly, I can't recommend this bike enough. I feel like everybody has to have like an MT09/XSR900 in their garage. You can't take it easy on this thing. You just can't. And it will keep up with 1000s. Obviously, yeah, no, like after 100 miles an hour, they're going to walk you. But this bike will get down. And it beats pretty much every car on the street. I've raced a good amount, a handful of cars for sure. This thing will do the job for sure. That motherfucker. Dude, this M2 is like moving. I see you, my friend. I see you, my friend. Oh yeah, now we got him behind me. Distracting me from my video. So one of the things I actually also wanted to talk about was the seating position for this bike. It's super comfortable. I've taken this bike up north to Michigan. It was about 6.5 hours, and it also rained during that time, and it really wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't the best, but nothing really like hurt. The seating position, like I was pretty comfortable throughout the whole ride, and I was cruising at like 80-85 on the highway. Now, something that I did notice is that my shoulders did get a little bit tired, a little sore, but I think that's more so to do because of the wind. I don't really think it was due to the seating position, but other than that, I mean, the whole ride was great. So this exhaust was meant for the, I'm gonna shut this thing off. This exhaust was meant for the MT09 SP. The only problem was the clearance right here. The rear brake, it just ever so slightly from the vibration, it touches the actual carbon piece of the exhaust, and not a big deal, but it is something to kind of keep in mind if you end up getting this exhaust, because this is probably the loudest exhaust that you can get for this bike. It is absolutely insane how loud this thing is. Still retain like the O2 and everything. It gave you like a whole kit for all of that stuff. There's so many parts that are kind of interchangeable, at least with the like motor side of things, kind of. And you get the Brembo rear master, you get the front master as well. I don't really like the levers though. We'll be switching those out. Also the mirrors. The mirrors aren't horrible in my opinion. They really aren't that bad, but I will be getting different mirrors. I just want smaller profile mirrors, and I want them under the bars just to slim up the profile a little bit. One of the reasons why I bought this bike is because I didn't like really any of the colorways that the MT09s came in. I don't know. It's just when I saw this, I mean, I didn't like this bike when it first came out. I was looking at the previous generation of XSR900s. I'll throw a picture up somewhere. And then this one just happened to come out literally the year that I was looking at them. And then sure enough, you know, next spring is when I saw one for sale and I decided to go for it. And it's, you know, it's unique. I really don't ever see this bike around. I know one other person that has one, but it's only when I go to the bike meet. Other than that, I have never seen this generation, this colorway XSR900. I haven't even seen the black XSR900. I see way more MT09s than I do XSRs. And so that's also like kind of a reason I got it, because you don't really see them out that often. And I think it's a great looking bike. I don't know, it's just something about this bike. It looks so good. But one thing that I will say, now that I'm looking at it, the rear seat, way better than the MT09, in my opinion. The rear seat is way, way better. I think it's a little bit more comfortable. I think it just holds you into the bike a bit better compared to the MT09, in my opinion. Some of you may disagree, but me personally, love it. So that's kind of another reason. And then just the look, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I still like it a lot. And I do want to kind of spice this thing up a little bit. There's a company called RPM Carbon. They make some very, very nice accessories for this bike, carbon fiber. We'll see what I do carbon. I'll definitely get like these guards in carbon right here. Get the rear guard carbon once I do the kit, if I do the kit, because the kit also requires you to use a triple tree clamp with slip-ons, so it lowers the actual entire seating position of this bike. So that's kind of why I'm deciding whether or not I do or don't want to actually do it, because if I end up getting a Super Sport for next year, like 1000cc, there really isn't a point in doing that, because then they're essentially going to be the exact same. And you know, if I'm getting on the Super Sport, I'm going to want something that I can just get back on and then be comfortable, be laid back, and not have to worry about like seating position or anything like that. We'll see if I do end up doing that or if I don't, but for the meantime, I'm just going to keep it the way it is. I think it's great. I do want to get a different tail tighty kit, just one with different blinkers, because I bought one that retained the OEM blinkers, but I liked it at first. Now it's just kind of, I don't know, I want to get smaller blinkers, make the rear profile a little bit more sleek. But other than that, I mean, I really have no complaints. I love this bike. Like I said, again, this bike and the MT09, same exact thing. Like if you're in the market for an MT09 or an XSR900 and you're kind of comparing both, there really isn't much to compare. I mean, it's just a different styled bike, that's all. I mean, I think the MT09 does sit slightly higher up, or like slightly more upright, I think. They're both solid bikes. I highly recommend at least at one point in your life that you get an XSR or MT09. They're so much fun. So with all that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, night, morning. Stay tuned for the next video, guys. Don't forget to like and sub, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Adios.